Hello Internet, and welcome to my live reaction for Boruto, Naruto Next Generations, Chapter 74. When we last left our heroes, it was basically just 40 pages of getting everyone up to speed as to what exactly Eida's deal is, how her powers work, as well as setting up a new mission for Boruto and Kawaki in particular to cohabitate with Eida for a while, and also run surveillance on her. It had a bit of a fanfic vibe. But I think it could still lead some interesting little, plots as this storyline kicks up. But we learned that Eida was listening in on them, because of course she was, we all know she has that power. And this interesting little thing happened at the end, where both Kawaki and Sasuke sensed Momoshiki. Kawaki specifically recognized he was coming from Boruto. Sasuke was a bit more of a general thing. And then I think that's pretty much where that chapter left off, as I recall. I think that was sort of the final little beat. Yeah. So that's where we leave off. With Eida on her way, and that little weird whiff of Momo coming from Boruto. So that said, let's dive right on into Chapter 74, Baptism by Fire. Which is an interesting concept to bring into the Naruto-verse. Baptism. But our picture here is a really nice Mitsuki picture. I actually really like this one. While I find, as usual with Ikemoto, his Sarada art is a little uncomfortable, this Mitsuki bit is really good. But anyway, we open with Team Eida, including Daemon and Amado, getting off the train, as Daemon notes, "Whoa, we're here!" And Eida looks over. She's still in her way too warm for this climate parka. The whole trio is. Looks over at Shikamaru and his little team. And Shikamaru tells them, "Welcome to Konoha Village, Eida and Daimon. We're grateful that you've come." And Eida looks at them, and I think that's Sai, who we see the whole team sort of taken by Eida's powers. But I think it's Sai who thinks she's so beautiful. And the whole train station also sort of reacts the same way. But Eida tells him, "You can skip the stiff greeting, Shika dear. I know your plan quite well." And Shikamaru was at least able to contain those feelings inside, to just stare at her coldly. "Your cohabitation proposal. It's intriguing. I humbly accept." And Shikamaru tells her, "Thank you. I thought you might." And Shikamaru then eyes Daimon, who eyes him right back. And I'm not sure that Shikamaru knows the exact extent of Daimon's powers. I know he knows that Daimon exists. But I'm not sure if the whole reflecting of intent thing has been told to Shikamaru. And I think Amado might have told him during that encounter with Eida and Code. So this is Daimon, Eida's little brother. And Sai sort of blushingly tells Eida, "You must be tired. I'll take you to your lodgings. Please follow me." And Eida looks back at all of the people muttering at her and tells Sai, "Thanks for the offer, but I won't need a guide." Well, sure, she has full, she can see everything in the world. She knows where to go. But then she just starts floating? Which I did not know was part of her powers. Shocking Sai and the rest of the team as Shikamaru just notes, "She's floating?" And Daimon notes, "Big sis doesn't like standing out. We'll go from above." Well, I mean, floating, especially in this village, with its not super extensive history, but a good history of getting crushed by floating people. Pain, and of course the obvious parallel made during the Ishiki fight to Pain's arrival. It's a choice, is my point. But Eida tells Shikamaru, "I already know the location, so I'll just go on ahead." And she flies off. The people all point out, "She's flying!" And Shikamaru points out exactly what I said, but she's standing out plenty. And Amado, lights a cigarette, and tells Shikamaru, "It's not an uncommon feat. Flying is completely run-of-the-mill among the Otsutsuki lot. Even Boruto and Kawaki may start zipping about before long." Okay, right, because Eida isn't quite Otsutsuki, but I reckon she has some Otsutsuki in her construction, I guess. But Shikamaru doesn't really respond to that, and instead says to Amado, "I didn't think I'd ever be seeing your mug again, Amado. There's no escaping it anymore. This time you're going to spill everything you know." And Amado just sort of glares back. Which, yeah, that's sort of what he's here to do. That is what we've been waiting for months now. But we see this, little house way out, outside the village. Which I'm assuming is the cohabitation house. As we see Boruto's already inside. Still, it's crazy how they were able to get such an amazing place. Especially considering the mission was just decided. And yes, Boruto, I think those were actually Kawaki's legs I saw sitting down on the couch earlier. But it's Boruto, Kawaki, and Konohamaru, who's also here sort of showing them around, I guess. Which, Eida's right about to show up. That is what this whole scene is, building towards. But Konohamaru tells them, "Actually, this property was already spoken for. This is just between us, but we had to twist their arm into yielding it to us." Okay, that's a random little detail. I'm curious that's going to end up coming up here. But Boruto notes, "Well, it's a top-ranked mission the village's fate depends upon. They ought to be understanding." But Kawaki calls out to him, "Hey, Boruto, why are you so cheery? Quit being so cocky." "Huh? Why can't I be cheery? Who wouldn't get excited seeing such an incredible pad? Quit picking fights with me." So this is sort of their first real encounter post-resurrection. And there is this sort of hard edge between them, which feels very different from, the amount of trust they had in each other for Boruto to allow Kawaki to kill him. And I can see the flashback panel on the next page to the Momo encounter, so I reckon that has something to do with it. We're not here to play, you brat. You understand this is a mission, right? And Boruto fights back, "Don't you get it? Our mission is to live here. If you stay so uptight, it'll be suffocating." And Konohamaru tells both of them, "Stop it, both of you. It's crucial that we get along with Eida, remember? If you two are like this, it doesn't bode well." And Boruto takes off his bag. Yeesh. And Kawaki flashes back to the meeting, and just, the visage of Momo just, breathing over Boruto's shoulder, all creepy-like, which is definitely what's influencing his thoughts here. Especially because I think this is Kawaki's first time seeing Momoshiki, and, seeing Momoshiki's body. Which, on the one hand, would, bring back bad memories of Ishiki. Now that I think on it, no one else has ever been able to see, a purely karmified Otsutsuki besides the host, right? So I'm curious, what that ends up pointing towards. What that's going to end up, that seems ominous, that fact right there. I guess we'll just have to wait and see what comes of that. And we see Sarada and Mitsuki are in a house, across the way. Our target will see through everything with her Senrigan, so hiding is pointless, but watching her in plain sight is just weird, too. I'm struggling over how to handle this. So yeah, they're also, already sort of looking in. And Mitsuki tells her, "Maintain a constant scowl. Such a stance will be meaningful. Master Shikamaru just wants to apply a little pressure on Eida." Yeah, this is sort of purely performative, is kind of his point. Easily said, but I hope doing that doesn't cause trouble. Honestly, I'm worried. And then I see who it is, but we only see 2 pairs of legs arrive in the first panel. And Sarada turns back, "Huh?" And it's Team 10, Shikadai, Inojin, and Chocho, who do so little in the manga. I hope they'll get to do something here, though I'm kind of skeptical. As Shikadai tells them, "Yo, overachievers, you better not be slacking." And Chocho gives them a hey. I love Chocho. She's a delight. Just all the time. But Sarada reacts, "You guys, what are you doing here?" But Shikadai tells her, "We're here to check things out. No one can stop our curiosity." And Inojin adds in, "We heard a gorgeous woman's coming." Which, that seems like a new... We've never really seen Inojin as, girl crazy. That's never really been how he's portrayed. So, I guess puberty comes for all of them in the end. And Chocho notes, "She's after Kawaki, right? Which totally makes that foreigner my rival. So I came to check her out," which that is more in line for Chocho, though. And Sarada notes, "I see." And Inojin snaps at her, "Are you saying that for real?" "So what if I am, loser?" And Sarada stops them, "Hey, take it somewhere else." And Mitsuki gets Sarada's attention. Sarada, she's here. And Sarada snaps to attention. What? And she sees in the distance Eida flying, approaching the house, and she lands on, like, the back patio, stunning Sarada. She flew here, with Daemon on her back, and she just casually walks into the house, and then turns to stare at all of them. And Inajin and Chocho instantly fall head over heels for her. Because, that's her power. And Inajin just mutters, my chest, it's... And Chocho's, like, clutching her face. No way. She's unreal. Totally like an angel. And Sarada just mutters, hey, come on, guys, what do you come here for? And Shikanai seems actually upset that he's not caught in her trance. Damn it. I couldn't see her face clearly. Which, like, okay. Maybe even like just the presence of Eida is like impacting everyone, even those who haven't seen her. But Sarada knows we need to let Boruto and Kawaki know. Mitsuki's enthralled too. Which is weird. I don't know, my thoughts on Mitsuki aside, as Mitsuki mutters, what is this emotion? I've never felt it before. But Sarada also seemed, like, Sarada saw Eida, right? And so it's a little shocking that, like, she seems so unbothered. Well, like, Shikanai has the excuse of, he didn't see her face clearly, but Sarada did. So it's weird that she's not really bothered by this. I don't know. Maybe somewhere, like, the Sharingan and its familial connection to the Otsutsuki is, like, the Uchiha Otsutsuki connection is kind of protecting her in some respect. I don't know. Anyway, Mitsuki, are you okay? Mitsuki tells her, maybe not. And Eida fully, like, turns away and walks inside. But before she goes in, we see Konohamaru in there. Well, I'm gonna head back to my post. Listen, the sensory unit is on continuous standby to support us, okay? We can communicate with each other at all times via mind transmission. So if anything happens, tell me right away. And mind transmission, as we know, cannot be observed by Eida. It's sort of their one ace in the hole. But Kawaki and Boruto are still a little pissed at each other, as Boruto just scowls and says, sure. And Kawaki remains silent. Yeesh. Do your job, you hear? And then on the mind transmission, Master Konohamaru. And Konohamaru notes, that you, Sarada? What is it? And we see Eida's shoe appear right up the stairs Konohamaru is climbing. Eida's here! And Konohamaru gets a look at her for the first time. Boruto and Kawaki look at her with, like mild interest, like, oh, she's here already. Whereas Konohamaru is instantly stricken. Oh. And Sarada calls out, Master Konohamaru? And Inajin questions, could something have happened? Should we go closer to check it out? And Chocho adds in, like, a lot closer? And Mitsuki's fully taken with her already. Good idea. And Sarada snaps at him, no, absolutely not. And Shikanai, like, gets back to sort of being in control of his senses here. Snap out of it, all of you. Damn it. So sorry, Sarada. I didn't expect this at all. But Sarada tells him, looks like you and I aren't affected by her yet. Because we couldn't see her well? Or some individual variation? And then someone else arrives, like, frozen. Alright, that's enough. It's Moegi! Come to, like, scold her wayward students. Which, again, given that, like, that Shikanai is now, like, captain of this team, I'm curious how the anime will handle this point, given that Moegi is not really in charge of Team 10 anymore. But Moegi, like, grabs Inajin and Chocho by the ears to scold them. I told you all not to come here, did I not? Your punishment is a 3-hour training run. And we see Shikanai, like, not happy with the run. Happy that Moegi's here, I guess. Master Moegi! Oh, shoot. And Moegi notes, many apologies, Sarada. I'll be sure to lecture them. And then she, like, sort of checks in. And Eida, she's arrived, right? Konohamaru's still over there? Yes, but he stopped answering. And Moegi's a little concerned and says, You better not be ogling and drooling over her. Be strong, little Konohamaru. And Konohamaru is, not really staying strong right now. And you think she's no big deal. Chill out. Calm yourself down, man. But he's clearly not, clearly not calming down. And we see Eida's listening in on Moegi's conversation. Lil Konohamaru, eh? A childhood friend. How sweet. And hearing that just knocks Konohamaru out. You see, are we all of a sudden teasing Konohamaru Moegi? I'm not too invested in, like, new gen ships, or even Konohamaru gen ships. But, like, I don't know. That's all. Like, I feel like especially the anime has done some work to, like, tease Konohamaru and Hanabi. But the Moegi thing is real all of a sudden there. But it does not. It might just be Eida's influence. But he gets knocked out as Boruto looks over. What? And is just shocked at how quickly Konohamaru fell. You're kidding, right? Master Konohamaru? Hey, Master? Yeesh, for real? And he looks up the stairs, where Eida still can't be seen from that angle. And he calls up, Eida, is that you? Don't just stand there. Come on down so we can talk. I bet she's, like, blushing behind a corner or something. As Kawaki looks over, and Boruto questions, hello? And from down the stairs whips Daemon, clutching onto Boruto's neck. What the? And Daemon yells at Boruto, I'm Daemon, you jerk. I'm the little brother. Uzumaki Boruto. Daemon? Little brother? They know about Daemon, right? Shikamaru informed them about Daemon, as I recall. But Boruto seems more shocked at his existence. And Kawaki comments, hey, what's up with that? We weren't told about any companions. So I might just be misremembering. Shikamaru might have not mentioned that. But I could have sworn Amado told Shikamaru, and I don't know why Shikamaru would not have then told the gang. Unless he was kind of already under Eida's thrall, given that he is under Eida's thrall. That's an interesting concept. I'm curious if the series ends up... If that's just me misreading things, or if, like, there is something to that theory. I guess that remains to be seen. Anyway, we see Eida hiding behind the corner. Because, yeah, she's a little blushy here. That's Kawaki's voice. And Daimon notes, you Otsutsuki, you're capable of killing Big Sis, right? But you see, I never let you do such a thing. And Kawaki notes, what are you going on about, bastard? Are you nuts? Interestingly enough, now that I'm thinking about it, Kawaki's overuse of the word bastard was way back at the start of the Kawaki arc, sort of a sign of how far he had to go in, like, his personal development. And now it feels like has he used it a lot this chapter, or is it more like just the vibe he's had this chapter? I think there's a lot of you brat this chapter. But it's the same sort of, insult sentence ending that sort of defined a pre-development Kawaki. And now, it's both, displeasure with the current situation, and I think a little bit of whatever he saw with Boruto last chapter is starting to lead to a bit of, like, a backslide. It's an interesting note, which might be about setting up the flash forward my thoughts on the flash forward are well documented, I'm not going into them again right now, but, Daimon snaps, quit it with the attitude, Kawaki. Come at me, so I can show you real good what I mean. And Daimon's trying to pick a fight to show his powers. As Boruto questions, hey, what are you saying? And Kawaki insults him, you ain't worth wasting my breath on. I'll just throw you out. But Boruto gets a bad feeling. Hey, don't, Kawaki! And it's not just like murderous intent, it's really any kind of intent. As I think that was explained, but I think I'd forgotten the exact detail of Daimon's powers. Because Kawaki's desire to throw out Daimon leads to Kawaki getting thrown out instead. And Boruto is shocked at that. What the? And Kawaki tries to, understand what just happened. What was that? And Daimon gets off of Boruto onto the couch. and like does his little mock apologize. Sorry. No more cheap tricks, I promise. Try me again. And Kawaki glares at him, little punk. And he activates Sukuna Hikuna to steal Ishiki's little black bar attack. And Daimon just grabs all of them. What? And Boruto reacts, no way! He could react to that? And then Daimon just drops them and not really teleports, but like dashes behind Kawaki and kicks him in the head. Of course, it's not like Kawaki can really do anything to that. And Kawaki hits the ground. Boruto climbs over the couch to reach him. Kawaki! And Daimon just grins as Boruto lunges at him in turn. You bastard! What do you do that for? And as he tries to throw a punch, Daimon is like, it's not even Daimon's power that's stopping Boruto here. It's just Daimon, who grabs Boruto's fist. And like, as Boruto tries to like sweep a kick under him, Daimon jumps over it. You! And then Daimon lands on top of Boruto's back and just slams into him, knocking Boruto into the ground. As Boruto, feels the impact there. And Eida looks on as Daimon just like stands over the beaten bodies of Kawaki and Boruto. Not really, not in any way severely injured, but a little ashamed, given how poorly they performed there. Oh no, they're fully knocked out, actually. Because some time passes and Boruto wakes up. And he realizes that he's like on the couch now. Oh! And he sees Eida and Daimon just like chilling on the couch. Now that Daimon showed his stuff, Eida has positioned Kawaki's head onto her lap because she's a bit of a creep. And Boruto looks at her as Eida tells him, I apologize, Boruto. That was a very harsh greeting. And Boruto snaps, that was totally unnecessary. What was the point? And Daimon tells him, I thought I'd show you from the very start that defying us wouldn't end well for you. And Boruto just glares as Kawaki wakes up and like instantly pushes himself away from Eida, has no interest in this. He looks back at her, and Eida blushes, because of course she does. And Daimon snaps, hey Kawaki, Big Sis's lap is nice and soft, right? And Kawaki just growls, give me a break. But Eida's, a little blushy here. Kawaki, and then Boruto gets a mind. Oh no, even Eida here. Oh, because Eida, I think Shikamaru was like speaking with his work, with like it from his perspective with his mouth, but the mind thing is still conveying it because we see Eida hears it too. Boruto, this is Shikamaru. Have you met Eida and Daimon yet? And Boruto also speaks out loud. No hiding this conversation. Yeah, we underwent a real baptism by fire just now. Courtesy of Eida's escort. And Shikamaru tells him, sorry about that. My plan was to do proper introductions, but she just took off flying. Did something happen? And we cut to Daimon, who has this, like, devious little smirk on his face, as Boruto notes, it's alright. I think we can get along. And Kawaki is a little not on board with that notion. Less on board with that notion than Boruto is. Let's have a gah. And Shikamaru continues, Amado's with us right now. Even I barely have any intel on the siblings, especially regarding Daimon. Plus, various other things. But we're hoping to begin sharing all that. Is it finally, now that we're at the last, 2 or 3 pages of the chapter, is it time to start, giving the details on whatever Amado's been hiding? Shikamaru says, alright, start talking, Amado. Don't leave anything out. Naruto is also with the two of them that goes on, no more secrets. And Amado tells him, fine, as long as you let me smoke. And as the chapter ends with Boruto muttering, yeesh, this is going to be quite the mission. To be continued. See you next month to finally get some details as to what Amado's all the secrets Amado's been keeping. Because again, there's just been a lot of them. I sort of lost track of them in the past 3 or 4 months that Amado's kind of been in the background. But he definitely has some kind of plan, especially around Kawaki and the karma, that it's about time that he starts spilling. But anyway, let's talk this chapter. Um, I mean, my general thoughts on Eida haven't really changed. Like, there are moments where Eida, like, seems compelling, but I've just never really been, or there are parts where Eida is compelling. I've just never really been enamored with her, if you'll pardon the pun there, enamored with her whole gimmick of everyone falls in love with her, or no, not that part. I mean, yes, that part, but the bit about she's just, the blushing little maiden as soon as Kawaki's involved. It's never really been a bit that I like. But there still is like I don't know, I don't terribly find Daemon interesting as a character, but I do think that like his powers are still fun. The whole, not only that he has this like absurd unstoppable power, that he's just like strong in his own right, is because we saw that a little bit in his clash with Code, as I recall. But it still is just a great choice that like this little twerp is overpowering our heroes left and right, and our villains for that matter. It kind of ties back to I don't know, for some reason the bit in the Zabuza saga where Kakashi tells the gang, like, after they meet Haku the first time, this is not the first time you'll meet someone younger than you, but stronger than me, is like, it comes to mind with Daimon, who is younger than everyone, and also, at the moment, stronger than them. Especially when they're not really expecting a full-on fight to the death. And if they were, he would have his whole intent reflection ability. So, like, if and when Daimon and Eida if these negotiations fall through and they end up being antagonists, I'm curious how they're going to deal with Daimon. Like, Eida, you can see a way through, with Boruto and Kawaki being unaffected by her abilities. But Daimon? Daimon just seems too overpowered, so we'll see how exactly Daimon ends up playing into the shape of this arc, which still is, especially where Eida and Daimon are concerned, a little shapeless. Like, it just sort of hit me, we've known these characters for like a year and a half, and I'm not quite sure what Kishimoto is doing with them. What sort of role they're meant to play in the story. And it's not inherently a bad thing, it speaks to a bit of a complexity thing, but like, it would if they were more complex characters. Like, I don't know, I've never been a fan of Eida and Daimon, and the story largely works in spite of them instead of because of them. But like, there still is fun to be had here. Like, the fight is fun. It makes me excited for whenever the actual Daimon fight comes in, whenever they actually have to deal with Daimon once and for all, if that is where Kishimoto ends up taking the story. Which again, is still up in the air. There's some cute, like, Moegi Kono teases with the Lil Konohamaru causes Konohamaru to pass out. There's the bit where Mitsuki feels attraction for the first time, which I thought he was feeling towards Boruto, but let's not think too hard about that. I don't think we're meant to think too hard about that, but whatever. But yeah, all in all, setting up this next phase of the arc, setting up this sort of cohabitation, it does the job, and it's entertaining. The fight is fun. And there's that little bit of the Kawaki Boruto relationship that like is changing as a result of what Kawaki saw last month. That's the part I really want to hammer in on, because Kawaki, as I've said before, is one of the best developed characters in the Naruto-verse as a whole. Kawaki is a great character, and I'm hoping that like the turn to villainy in the flash forward, as I've said many, many times, does not sort of ruin that. But it looks like that image is definitely, that image of Momo is putting a rift between Boruto and Kawaki in ways that Boruto doesn't fully know yet. That's the part I'm most looking forward to, as well as all of Amado's plans. And, what Ko's got going on with the Jubi soldiers. I don't know. There's still a lot of pieces here that I want to see how they all fit together and how they move the story forward, apart from just Eida's love quest, which is, again, never really worked for me. So with that said, I'm going to leave this video off here. Hope you'll enjoy the chapter and the video itself. If you did, feel free to drop me a like or subscribe, or, do whatever makes you happy, And as always, your life is your own, okay? Bye!